Hello and welcome to the RightHire video training designed to help you improve your hiring and recruiting results. When it comes to hiring and recruiting, we certainly understand that it isn't easy to find great people for your open positions. In fact, most companies list hiring the right people as the #1 or #2 challenge facing their organization in 2017 and beyond. So why is this such a topic of concern for companies across the globe and across industries? Well, we like to say that your business thrives or just barely survives based on the quality of the people that you hire. No matter how great the product or service, it is the people within the company that make the organization succeed. Not only are people important, but the reality is that making a bad decision in your hiring process is costly. According to one industrial psychologist, the average cost of a bad hire is 2 to 3 times the salary for that position. And that is an enormous potential cost for your business. The challenge is that for owners, leaders, and managers, you have precious little time to make sure that you make the right hire. You have a team to run, a company to run, and that alone is a full-time job. Yet, as most of us have experienced, hiring people feels like a full-time job. Added to that is the fact that often when we decide to make a hire, there is some serious urgency involved. We usually hire people because it has been determined that we desperately need them. The budget has been approved, and now there's an expectation of a return on investment. So this crossroad of a lack of time and urgency to make a hire leads to problems. The first challenge is that we end up compromising and settling on someone who isn't what we wanted. Second, we can put too much stock in our instinct, or as we'll say, our gut feeling. Or third, we focus more on skills and virtually ignore motivation. Well, why are these situations problematic? Well, when we settle, for instance, we are compromising. One of the definitions of compromise is that we accept standards that are lower than desirable. In other words, we accept someone who isn't necessarily a good fit. We won't be happy, and chances are they won't be happy either because the job wasn't a good fit. There is an interesting statistic from Indeed.com, who's a powerhouse in the online recruiting market, that 65% of people look for another job within the first 91 days of being hired. According to Bamboo HR, a third of new hires will quit within 180 days. And why is that? Well, one of the driving reasons is that we settled on someone who wasn't a fit. So these people wallow in the job, they aren't happy, we aren't happy, but because they're new, we often struggle to find a reason to terminate them. So there they stay until they find a better fit. Ultimately, we have to replace them, and we have already talked about the cost involved with that situation. So challenge 2 was trusting our gut. And this is an interesting topic. Many leaders make their hiring decisions based almost entirely on their gut feeling or their instinct. I have had managers tell me that they sit across from the candidate and think, would I have a beer with this guy? And they use that feeling as the basis for their decision. The statistics on this are interesting as well. 39% of managers say they trust their gut. The problem? 71% of those same people say they would change their mind if given a second chance. So what does that tell us? Our gut can be tricked. It is not uncommon to find people who are pretty much professional interviewees. These are people who change jobs every couple of years, but by their pure charisma and ability to interview, manage to get better jobs at a higher rate of pay. Our gut, when we interview them, tells us that they are the perfect fit for the position. The problem is that we hire a person that we really like, but who can't, or worse yet, won't do the job. These types are even harder to let go because then we have to admit that our gut was wrong, and there is a good possibility that we really like this person. Now, before we go too far down the road on this training, I do want to make one point. Your gut feeling has a place in the hiring process, and it can't be totally ignored. As we get into the training, we will talk about ways where your instinct plays a part in the hiring process. Your feelings are a powerful tool when used in the appropriate place. So our third challenge we mentioned was focusing too much on skills. When we focus too much on skills and not enough on motivation, we can run into one of the most frustrating problems that you can have as a leader: an employee with a ton of talent who has absolutely no motivation to do the job. So, how do we combat these challenges? Have a process and stick to it every single time. My name is Dominic Cummins, and I'm the co-founder of RightMind and the creator of the RightHire process. We at RightMind created this series because we understand that finding great people for your company or your team is one of the most challenging parts of your job. Unfortunately, most of us don't receive formal training to teach us how to recruit and hire quality people. At RightMind, we have decades of experience in hiring people across industries and across the globe, with a success rate of over 90%. To be honest, it isn't because we have some special talent for picking people, but rather that we have a proven process and we follow it every single time. So let's introduce you to the RightHire process that we use and we will be considering in this series together. The RightHire process focuses on 6 critical areas to help you reduce the risk of making a bad hire. First, we help you differentiate your business from all of the other choices that great candidates have. You see, great hires and people want to work for great businesses. And most companies spend a great deal of time trying to differentiate themselves in order to make sales, but what about their recruiting efforts? Second, we help you identify the skills and traits that are most essential for your business. Our third step helps you locate the right candidates by helping you maximize the effectiveness of your recruiting sources. Our fourth step covers the all-important interview phase. During this stage, we cover every aspect, from the setting of the interviews and how you treat your candidates, to what questions you ask to get the best results, to a scoring methodology that helps your decision-making process be less subjective. Step 5 covers the effective use of pre-employment testing and background checks. And finally, in step 6, we talk about your strategies for retaining your best people, because keeping and developing your people is every bit as important as your hiring strategy. And one of the key elements and aspects of this step 6 is that this process of retention starts at the moment you make the offer of employment to your candidate. If you follow this process, you will minimize the chances of making a bad hire, and even better, end up with people that possess the traits and motivation to be successful at their role. During this video series, we will provide the training and tools necessary to carry out each step of this process. We thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing your success stories. I will see you in the next video as we begin the process by learning how to differentiate our organization from the others that a top candidate may be exploring.